World 3 is the first to take place at night, and things are going to start to get a bit trickier here soon. When you get to this bridge, there'll be a hidden 1-up right here if you get all the coins from the second level of World 2, or if you take the warp zone here. Yeah, another cryptic hidden power-up. Soon after that, you'll meet the Hammer Brothers. You'll usually find them in a setting like this, 2 long platforms, and they hop from one to the other while chucking hammers. They're one of the more challenging enemies in the game. If you have fireballs, stand back and wait for them to line up with you and take them out. If you don't have fireballs, stand really close to them to let the hammer sail over you and then sneak underneath and bump them off. With these particular Hammer Brothers, grab the star that shows up right after the bridge and you can just walk right through them. Right after them is a springboard thingy, and if you land in between these platforms, this last block will lead you to another overhead hidden cloud area. Right before the end, you'll see 2 Koopa Troopers walking down the steps, and here's where you can perform the infamous 99 lives trick. I can never get it to work, but what you're supposed to do is jump on the second turtle shell and time it so you can keep landing on it repeatedly. And due to a glitch, it'll give you a shitload of consecutive extra lives. I've tried it many times, but can't seem to get it to work. Fuck it though, I like to beat my games legit. Using cheap cheats or the Game Genie is like taking steroids to break home run records. The second level is really easy. There are very few pits, hardly any platforms, and other than that you've just got a bunch of Koopa Troopers, Goombas, and the occasional Piranha Plant. This level seems like an unfinished rough draft to me. The third stage is another tree level. The emphasis on this stage seems to be on these floating platforms and red Koopa Troopers. These 2 slide back and forth, and this one that stays still may seem normal at first, but standing on it will cause it to drop quickly, so don't hang around on it for too long. Then there are these seesaws. Standing on one platform will cause it to slide down while the other one moves up, so don't let it get too high and out of reach. Especially the second one, because that's the one right before the flag. And if you get enough steam here, it's actually possible to jump over the flagpole. The castle level here is packed with fireball streams and the flying balls of flame. The streams here aren't too threatening, as they can barely reach the top of the platform, so focus more on the flames and you'll get by as long as you don't jump on the platform while the streams are facing directly up. When you get to these fire streams, stay low so you don't hit the top one and advance when there's room. Bowser is the same as usual, only the bricks up top are different. They don't really give you an easy path like the last time. Here you kinda have to make some room so you can leap onto the platform. Otherwise run underneath him or take him out with the fireballs if you can. The first level of World 4 introduces 2 new enemies at the same time. Lakitu is a little turtle that floats around in a cloud dropping spinies. The spinies are spiked turtles that you can't jump on, so you either have to avoid them completely or blast fireballs at them. You can take the Lakitu out by squashing him or shooting him, and it will hold off any more spinies. But it's only temporary, as he'll keep coming back like Jason Voorhees. He's a persistent bastard. You can hang around and grab some coins, but I suggest sprinting to keep spinies from showing up. Go down the second pipe to grab extra coins, a mushroom, and a shortcut that isn't too far from the flag. The second underground level is next. At the end of this hallway here, 5 blocks from the end is a hidden 10 coin block. Of course you can only get there if you're Super Mario. This stage has 2 different warp zones. The first one can be found by smacking these hidden blocks onto this platform and getting this vine to pop out. And you'll get the choice of World 6, 7, or 8. The other warp zone is over the pipe at the end, just like the first one, which will take you to World 5. This level also introduces the Buzzy Beetles, little black pudgy ass turtles. Well, they're a shade of blue underground, but they're black in the light. They're immune to fireballs, but you can stomp them and kick their shells like the Koopa Troopers. Be careful jumping between these platforms here, as the gap is narrow. When you get to the tall pipe, slide straight down off of it and head for the exit. The third stage is a lot like the tree levels from earlier, except they're mushrooms and the level design is a little bit trickier. Again, there's a ton of red Koopa Troopers and seesaws, including 3 of them right before the castle. Now, this castle is a bit of a maze. There are 2 different portions, each with multiple routes. If you take the wrong route, that portion will loop back and you not only have to deal with the piranha plants and fireball streams all over again, but you have to beat the timer, so you have to be moving fast. So at the first split right off the bat, take the top route. It'll lead you to the second portion with a jaggedy ass staircase. Slip into this little nook and it'll lead you straight to Bowser. He's got a fireball stream and a flame ball popping out of the lava to complicate matters this time. The best thing to do if you don't have fireballs is to let him get semi-close, and when he lands back down from jumping and the fireball stream is facing down, leap over him. The first level in World 5 is pretty basic. A few pipes, a few pits, and a bunch of Goombas and Koopa Troopers. But they also introduce my personal favorite of all Bowser's minions, Bullet Bill. They fire out of these stationed cannons and are immune to fireballs, so you have to jump on them or let them pass. The second level is where shit really starts to pick up. Right after the springboard, you'll be greeted by a hammer brother who isn't too forgiving because there's no brick platform from underneath to bump him off. And because he's on the staircase, you won't be able to pelt him with fireballs from a distance. So wait for the hammers to clear and get close where you can either shoot him or take a short jump onto his head for the kill. This first pipe you run into right here will take you to an underwater shortcut that'll skip over several sets of hammer brothers, which will save you a headache. But if you stick with the regular path, you'll find a hidden vine here through these blocks and grab a bunch of coins in the clouds, plus a shortcut to the flag. The third level is the exact same level as the third level from World 1, except Bullet Bills come whizzing by one at a time and the moving platforms have shrunk a bit. So we pretty much have already covered this level. The castle level is a rehash as well. In this case, it's the same as the castle level from World 2, but there are differences. Like at the beginning, there are more flame balls. Not only is there a fireball stream in this spot, but it's fucking huge. Grabbing the mushroom up here is pretty tough to get to without getting struck. So you can either just say fuck it and leave it behind, or if you're gonna go for it, do it like this. Hurry and get to the question mark block and jump over the stream, then slip back down, quickly grabbing the mushroom, or if it's a flower, jump over the stream one more time before advancing. Now they added fireball streams to this area on the bottom half, so take the top route this time, there'll be less of them. Bowser is the same as the last time in this castle, with the brick floor above that you can use to pass over him, but this time there's a ball of flame in the way as well. So keep your eye on it as you plot your course. The first level of the 6th world is another Lakitu level. He'll be dropping the spinies on you all the way through, and the only other hazards are a piranha plant and a decent amount of pits and stairways. If you sprint through the level and keep the spinies at bay, it's a pretty easy level, so stop for coins and power-ups only if you're in dire need of them, or if you feel you're crafty enough to avoid them. Having the fireballs really gives you an advantage with these guys. The second level has a copious amount of pipes, piranha plants out the ass. So unless you have your fireballs or grab a star, you'll want to move cautiously throughout the whole thing. There is a pipe that leads to an underwater shortcut, skipping over a decent chunk of the stage. But just like in the last world, it'll cause you to miss a hidden vine that leads you to some bonus coins. The third level is another tree stage, but they've all got a white-grayish color scheme to them. I guess it's supposed to be snow, but it looks more like you're in the Twilight Zone. And to make it feel like it actually is the Twilight Zone, there are no enemies in the whole level, with the exception of some Bullet Bills toward the end. There are, however, a good chunk of hazards, mostly the floating platforms, the seesaws, and the unpredictable springboard, twice. The castle level is a rehash of the castle from way back in the first world. Now while it may seem pretty simple because all you're going up against are fireball streams, it's not because you're dealing with so many more at a time. Watch the patterns and take short jumps. When you get to Bowser, you'll discover that he's been doing business with the Hammer Brothers because he chucks a shitload of hammers at you. Plus you've got that goddamn unpredictable fireball popping out of the lava. Keep your distance and wait for a moment when the fireball has just gone down and when Bowser's hammer's attack cease. Then sneak up real close, wait for him to jump and rush underneath him. Jumping over him while he's got the hammers takes some really good timing.